It is all go round here, so Cleo is now back in the garage. Next job before I put it up on the ramps, I've actually got to get the Rolls-Royce out of the barn here, which means Audi's got to move and Le Mini's got to move, so they're going to get dumped down here, and the van is sitting now waiting for its new filler cap, because thanks Ford. Right, key time. Righto, finally time to get the rolls out. So I'm going to use it for a black tie event tomorrow, and then next thing is it's going off to Starman's to have the exhaust looked at. So the exhaust is just catching somewhere on the undercarriage. Once it warms up, something expands somewhere. It's just rattling ever so slightly, which is somewhat annoying. And it's going to have a once over, go for an MOT, and then it will properly be up for sale. I know I've said a few times I am selling it. It is properly going up for sale. So this is a two-person job. I have Greg with me because it's, despite how it looks okay in here, it is a surprisingly tight fit, and we're storing some of my friend's garden furniture at the moment. So fingers crossed it will actually come out of the barn.
Easy.
Yeah, right, first job. Look at all the detritus. It looks like a barn find. Go on, so just down there. Turn to the right, that's it. Battery is on. Time to jump in. Lights are on, that's always a good sign. You literally can't see anything because it's so dark in here, but let's see. Get the door closed. Let everything prime. Come on, old girl. Just give the carbs a bit more time to prime. It has been sat for a month or two now. This is not good.
A few moments later.
Okay, she is running. I bobbed the camera down for a second just to check a few things over. It looks like it just needed to get fuel into the float chambers. It has now started. I think it's running on all 8. Feels relatively smooth. It's a little bit noisy, but right, now the job of getting it out of its little hidey hole. Eek. Okay, the heart of the beast. She did eventually start, as you've seen. So I just need to get the carbs full of fuel. And while we're on the subject of carburetors, I do have one little remedial job I've been meaning to do for ages. So you may remember in an earlier video, we had problems with it running on sort of 4 of its 8 cylinders. That's because the carburetor over that side was not functioning properly. There's a little plunger inside here that was just ever so slightly sticking. So we took the bowl off, cleaned everything up, put it all back together. But in doing so, I noticed that some of these little screws on here are a bit chewed up, and that's sort of a fairly regular maintenance item. So I've sourced some new ones. They're actually from a Jaguar, but they're an odd imperial thread flathead screw. So took a bit of getting hold of, but I'm going to replace certainly a couple of them. There's one on that side is really chewed up. So it was back in, just gently nipped tight. So hopefully I can get it out, because we really struggled with getting it off last time. So I don't want that to get worse and then not be able to get it off, because that could be a real pain in the backside.
The one with the tag on is not too bad, actually.
Yeah, I think that it might be the most mullered one, but I think it was the one I did very loosely. So, right, broken them loose. So that should just come out by hand now. Oh look, a little cobweb. Shows how long it's been sitting in the barn.
There you go.
Hold on. Does that mean it's a barn find Rolls-Royce?
Well, you know.
So those are the offending, slightly mullered looking flatheads. You can see they've obviously been on and off a load of times. They do eventually just get damaged. So we've now got 2 nice new ones, as Greg is pointing out. Those just need nipping up slightly. But that means they can be taken on in and out a few more times without worrying about shearing them or having to having to cut the remains of the head off, which would be a disastrous situation, especially with fuel inside the carburetor. Yeah, very good. Tiny little remedial job, but felt necessary to do. And there's a couple of screws left. I think there's 2 left in the bag. So I'll put the mullered ones in with those ones so they are spares and they will go with the car. So yeah, just like that. Right, so the other thing I want to do with the Rolls is use the dipstick, to find the dipstick and check the oil. Okay, pulled and cleaned the dipstick and re-dipped. So we're a little low on oil, although the car is sort of sitting a little bit on the slant on the driveway. And the dipstick's on the left-hand side, the low side's on the right, so it's probably not too bad. I might put half a litre or so, but you see the oil doesn't look too bad. It's relatively clean. We might give it a cheeky oil service before it goes, but I mean, that looks pretty fresh to me. So I'm just going to check the dash pots in the carburetors as well. I would have done that inside before starting it, but it was a little bit difficult to get to, and there was no light, as you'll have seen already in the video. And then just check the coolant and a few other bits and pieces. I think we might need a bit of extra mineral oil in the pots down here. And then it should be good to go for my little drive out tomorrow. Just got to give it a clean because it does look like a barn find at the moment. I don't have sponsorship from any sort of lubricant or chemical manufacturer, but if I was going to be sponsored by any, Pennine would be a great one. This is actually made in West Yorkshire, which is where I'm from, and where this car was from actually. Belonged to a chap in Bradford. But yeah, Pennine lubricant. You don't see that very often, but love it. You'd never guess I was a Yorkshireman. So while this looks extremely random, there used to be a horrible modern radio in here. So it's just got a blanking plate in, and it has a screw right in the middle of the blanking plate, which looks horrible. So I happen to have a pin badge of the Yorkshire Rose kicking around, so that's why that is there in the centre console. At some point, it might be quite nice to put a period radio in, but as the car is going for sale, and it already has a little Bluetooth unit down here, I'm not going to mess with it too much. But yeah, once a Yorkshireman, always a Yorkshireman. A fun little detail for you: if you haven't ever been in a Silver Spirit or Rolls Bentley of this era, the lock on the glove box, so you see the glove box here, is a proper Yale lock, which is hilarious. Okay, so the plan is to take the car out tomorrow night, but I do actually need to go out this evening, so I'm going to throw a bucket of water over the car now in the traditional style. So some Nielsen cleaning chemicals. I've got some Nielsen snow foam. I'm going to snow foam it, but I'm not going to pressure wash it off. I'm going to hand wash it off. And then we've got some Nielsen car shampoo to use as well. So it actually looks really nice and clean from here, but it's really not. And I decided, where are they? I'm going to do a 2-bucket method, unlike I did with the Audi. Bit more precious about the Rolls-Royce than the Audi, funnily enough. So yeah, now I've got to get the pressure washer out so I can do the snow foam and then wash it all down by hand. So with that, the Rolls-Royce is looking nice and resplendently clean. As you can see, we did end up using the pressure washer because Greg realised you can adjust the nozzle on the end to a softer setting, which is what is needed for the paint. The paint isn't great on this. I don't want to hit it too hard with the pressure washer. So we use the pressure washer anyway. But yeah, looking soft or hard, apparently. I had it set on hard. Soft is the order of the day, Greg. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Next time on Automotive Tales. Quite an undignified way to end the evening. A failure to proceed.